Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is my studio. Welcome back to another podcast episode where I'm going to be chatting about all things knitting. I am a knitter and knitwear designer based out of Columbus, Ohio, and I don't design knitwear full-time. I have a full-time job in the fashion industry. Most of my free time is spent chasing my young daughter, but I still get in a good amount of knitting time, and I'm here to share all of that with you today. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing a synthesis tank. This is a pattern I designed in 2021, so a few years ago, and this is just like a fun little cropped, you can see, cropped tank top. And the fun thing about this is that it's all knit in one piece, and there's a single seam at the center back that joins everything together and makes it a wearable garment. I love wearing this piece, especially in the summertime, layering it. Here I'm doing high-waisted pants, but also great over dresses or like, you know, a high-waisted skirt, that sort of thing. But it's just like a nice little simple top that's really fun and nice to wear this time of year. I'm working from home today and I'm recording before I get started with work, so I'm going to keep things moving. I have one finished object, a couple of works in progress, and a stash dive and revive project that I want to start working on so I can actually, you know, wear it again. So let's go ahead and get started with finished objects. So my one finished object is little Plinth Tee. That is this right here. I knit a size 24 months and the long sleeve version. I actually have not woven in the ends on the sleeve yet because I wanted to try it on my daughter to see like how are we doing on sleeve length before I actually wove in the sleeves. Right now, since she's younger than, you know, than this size, the sleeves are perfect with the cuff rolled up, but as she gets taller, she can, you know, we can unroll the sleeves to make sure it, you know, stays like a nice long sleeve length as she continues to grow. So long sleeve, 24-month size. And if you're interested in making your own little Plinth Tee, the pattern is now live. I released it yesterday as you're watching this. So I'm recording a few days in advance, not out yet, but it will be. All of the detailed links, etc., are down below. There is a little discount during release week if that's something you're interested in, but I'll just briefly go over the pattern details and I guess like put them on the screen over here. So it is fingering weight yarn worked at 24 stitches per 4 inches. Size ranges from 3 months to 12 years, or an 18 to 31 inch finished chest circumference, or 45.5 to 78.5 centimeters. I used a US 4 to get gauge, but of course use whatever needle size that gets you gauge. And the pattern includes instructions for a regular hem or a full hem modification for a little bit extra twirl, and options for both short and long sleeves. So I ended up knitting 3 samples for this. This is the third one. It's the long sleeve option. It has a regular hem, and I also knit the short sleeve with a full hem and a short sleeve with a regular hem. I honestly usually don't knit projects a ton of different times, but these are so like fun and fast that I didn't mind at all, like knitting a pattern more than once, like in close succession especially. So it's a super fun, satisfying knit, again, because it's like a tiny little kid size. It just goes so fast, and you get a really cute garment for, you know, your really cute kid to wear. So that is little Plinth Tee. Again, if you'd like to make your own for a little one in your life, all of those details are below in the description box. All right, getting into whips. So I have 3, well, primarily 2 whips and then a third one that I've just barely started. So both of the whips you have, or the first 2 whips you've seen before. First that I have is Wedgewood Vest. I'm knitting this in Fyberspates Vivacious 4-ply in the maple syrup color. And like this looks very like squished because it's ribbing, and and it's squished. But once I block it, it'll relax and open up nicely. I mean, you can kind of see that, like, you know, you can stretch it out. It'll look cute. We're getting there. So I am most of the way through the armhole of the back panel. So I just have a little bit more to go, shape the shoulders and back neckline, and then I'll be able to get started on the front panel. So while I was working this, I like almost had a disaster moment. Well, not really a disaster, but I had a panic moment where I thought my garment somehow just like wasn't nearly long enough based on what it should have been per the instructions. But then I realized I just wasn't reading the instructions correctly and hadn't done enough of the shift rows. So you can see this panel shifts all the way across, almost all the way to the edge of the ribbing here. And I'd only gotten to like maybe here and had misread the instructions. PSA, even when you're like working a pattern that you've already knit before, that you actually wrote the pattern for, you can still mess it up or misread your own instructions. So once I reread, I realized I just need to keep going, keep shifting, and then it'll be the right length once I, you know, get to the point in the pattern where it actually should get to. So excited to keep going on this. It's been going pretty quickly. I've also been working on another project though, and I will go ahead and pull that one out here. So the next project that I've spent a lot of my time on is this cute little baby tee. This is Micahs Raglan Tee by Hannah Graham, and it's a super cute pattern. I love these little cable details along the raglan lines. I am just through the yoke and a little bit into the body, but now that I'm working the body instead of like all the way around the yoke circumference, it's going a lot faster. I am working this sort of with magic loop because I really don't have a lot of good circular needle sizes. Or at least I don't have good circular needle sizes that aren't offered in an interchangeable set. So this is the only set of circular US 2s that I have. Honestly, they're like too short for magic loop, but I'm making it work anyway. And I don't have a set that's like shorter that would be an appropriate circumference for a baby garment. So, you know, it is what it is. As I said, making it work. I have been having a very fun time with this pattern so far. It's a pretty simple top-down raglan. It does have short row shaping around the neckline to kind of drop that neckline down in the front a little bit. And I had kind of forgotten like how much you have to pay attention to a top-down raglan when you're first getting started. I think I had mentioned this last time, but definitely a little bit more thinking than I was anticipating. But once I got through that like short row shaping and like was just working on the raglan increases, it went so much, you know, faster, smoother. I could kind of go back into mindless knitting mode and really only pay attention to like when I was supposed to be doing the cable twists. So that was good. I'm excited for how this is going to turn out. I guess I should give an update on gauge because I did not gauge swatch for this. I am almost meeting gauge, going down to US 2s. Granted, this is unblocked, but the pattern gauge is 28 stitches per 4 inches. I currently have 29 stitches per 4 inches, so a little bit tighter fabric, which means my garment is slightly smaller right now. That being said, I expect it to relax when I block it, so I should be like pretty darn close to the pattern gauge, just kind of going based on my gut and, you know, going down a needle size based on my gauge that I've been getting on other projects, on other needle sizes with similar yarn content or fiber content. So I feel good about my decision. And again, like had I needed to rip out, I would have had to rip out and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. if I do end up slightly off in gauge in the final project, I also don't think it will matter a ton, simply because I'm close. And based on my current gauge, so if it doesn't change from current, I would be off by about 3/4 of an inch from the target finished measurements of the pattern. And like, that would just basically mean I would be in between sizes for what I'm trying to knit. And that's like, my child would still be able to wear it, she would still be able to fit into that finished size. So she might just not be able to wear it quite as long as she would otherwise. But feeling good about my decision to just kind of go with my gut, go with US2s, knowing that like I absolutely would need to go down in needle size in order to achieve that like 7 stitches per inch gauge, since on other needle sizes I'm like way bigger than that. Yeah, so gonna just keep flying along on this, working through the body, and I guess do the little short sleeves at some point. So yeah, that's what's going on here with the Micahs Raglan Tee. And the last work in progress that I have is just this tiny little friend here. So this is the start to my third purse tank, and this is the one that I'm using to film video tutorials to go along with the pattern, knowing that there are some different techniques in the pattern than, well, they're just like not necessarily super common with like how the construction is and all of that sort of stuff, you know, just providing some extra resources for anyone who happens to want to knit this as well. So just barely started on this. I started it yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago. I don't know what today is. I started this on Sunday during my daughter's nap time. So this is as far as I got. Got a little bit of tutorial work done for the beginning of it, and yeah, really happy with the color so far. It's really, really lovely and beautiful. And then here are the 2 colors that are currently going into it. And I'm just going to be, you know, blending the colors together, and it's going to be really pretty. Very excited about like the finished effect. It'll be just, you know, kind of lovely rust and pink and gold, like a very elegant, dreamy fall situation, which is great because like this is absolutely not going to be like done and released in time for like true summer knitting. But like tank tops are honestly great for year-round wearing. Maybe not so much in like deep winter, but fall stays hot for a pretty long time. And I will often wear like a tank top and then a cardigan over it. And that really, you know, I get to wear 2 knitted things. So I get to wear like a base layer and then something else over it. And B, when you get to like the hot afternoon part of the day, if you're outside, like knitted tank top is like the perfect thing to wear at that time of year in the fall. So, it's probably going to be a September release instead of an August release like I had initially wanted to, but you know, I only have so much time to get things like pattern writing, video tutorials, all of that sort of stuff done. So we'll get there when we get there, and it will be lovely because it is just like a really nice staple piece to wear. I've been wearing both of my ones that I finished so far pretty frequently, like maybe at least one of them per week in recent days. So I'm excited to add another one into my rotation, and yeah, that's where we are here. That is all I have with my works in progress. I probably need to start something else now that I have another project off the needles. I guess I technically have 3 active things on the needles right now. So maybe that's enough. Maybe I shouldn't cast anything else on, at least not yet. But I do have to start thinking about fall plans and like fall patterns. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. On to Stash Dive and Revive. So this week I want to do some mending, and I have been putting this off for I don't know how long. And that means this cardigan that I absolutely love has been out of rotation for, I mean, probably at least 6 months, maybe longer. But I have a problem with perpetually running through the elbows of my cardigans. Part of it is because I just wear the same cardigans all the time. I have like 3 or 4 that I just will wear all the time. And I also like will lean onto my desk at work, onto my elbows, like as I'm typing and stuff. And that just means that I end up having a lot of stress put on those elbows and end up busting through them at some point. And then I need to knit an elbow patch to repair my cardigan and, you know, extend its wearing life because the rest of it's like in great shape. It looks great. And I just have busted out elbows. So let me go grab that. Okay, so I've grabbed my cardigan. This is my Blendin Woods cardigan. And I don't know when I knit this. I think I knit it in 2020. It's a lovely all over cabled situation with a, you know, nice front cable and then honeycomb cable for kind of like the background. The sleeves are all honeycomb cable, and here is that lovely hole that you can see. Let me just pop my hand through and you'll be able to see even better. There is the hole that I'm dealing with. So, I have actually already made the same repair on the other elbow once. So here is the other elbow. And here is where I made the repair. You can honestly barely tell where I did a little knitted patch in pattern. And that is the same fix that I'm going to be doing on this side. I don't think I actually, no, I did not. So I did not weave in the ends on that side. So here is the inside on the other elbow. You can see where the hole is, where I'd essentially done the same busting through. And here are my ends that I did not weave in for that knitted patch. So my game plan is to do the same thing that I did on the other side. I'm going to pick up stitches along the like bottom edge of the hole, like a few rows down, knit a patch, and as I'm knitting it, like knit 2 together into the existing pattern around those edges, again, to the outsides of the hole. So I'm just going to be like, I'm not really grafting, but that's the best way I could describe it, is like grafting as I go and like catching stitches along the edges as I'm knitting up. And then at the top, I will do a graft. I'll do, you know, a Kitchener stitch across the top once I'm a few rows above. So I'm essentially just creating new fabric around the existing hole, and it creates a super clean, nearly invisible fix. And then I'll get a ton more wear out of it. And I'll show you again the inside here. So you can even see that like I had that initial hole and then it's started to run down further, but it hasn't run past where I started the pickup for that bottom row. So it's pretty secure inside. And if I wanted to, I could probably like needle felt some of those edges to further stabilize it, but I haven't had any issues with the other side. So I'm just gonna repeat that process. And then I'm gonna have a glorious cardigan that I can wear again, because again, this is like one of the cardigans that I would wear all the time, and therefore bust through the elbows because I'm wearing it all the time. And it also kind of tells me that maybe I need to knit some new cardigans this fall so I can be a little less hard on the ones that I already have. Because again, I have like 3 to 4 that I'm wearing like all the time. And that means like multiple times per week for each of these cardigans. And that's a lot of wear, especially since I wear my cardigans like all year. even now in the summertime when it's like super hot outside, I'm wearing a cardigan on most days because if I'm going into the office especially, they crank the air conditioning at the office and that means I get super cold. So cardigan every day. You know, in the evenings if I'm like hanging out in the basement, it's kind of chilly down there, need a cardigan. So I need to knit more cardigans. So I guess that will be part of my fall knitting plans, but I'll go ahead and pop this on. So yeah, I want to be able to wear this one again because it looks so nice and I just can't be doing this kind of stuff. Like this is not cute. And it's gonna, you know, keep unraveling unless I get it secured. So we're gonna patch it up by the time I record the next episode in a couple of weeks. So yeah, that's the plan. Get another patch like I have over here and fix this elbow situation. So that is all the time that I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching another episode. You can always find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Carrie Knits. There's a link to my newsletter and website below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss future videos.